ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम्
अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम्
अवाङ्मनसगोचरम्
अवाङ्मनसगोचरम्
आत्मानम् अखिलाधारम्
आत्मानम् अखिलाधारम्
आश्रये भीष्टसिद्धये
आश्रयेऽभीष्टसिद्धये
अर्थतोऽप्यद्वयानन्दान्
अर्थतोऽप्यद्वयानन्दान्
अतीतद्वैतभानतः
अतीतद्वैतभानतः
गुरूणाराध्य वेदान्तसारं भक्ष्ये यथामति।
गुरूणाराध्य वेदान्त सारं वक्ष्ये यथामति। एतेषाम्
स्थूलसूक्ष्मकारणप्रपञ्चानाम् अपि
स्थूलसूक्ष्मकारणप्रपञ्चानामपि
समष्टिः
समष्टिः
एकः महान् प्रपञ्चः भवति।
एकः महान् प्रपञ्चः भवति।
यथा अवान्तरवनानां समष्टिः
यथा अवान्तरवनानां समष्टिः
एकं महत् वनं भवति।
एकं महद्वनं भवति।
यथा वा अवान्तरजलाशयानां समष्टिः
यथा वा अवान्तरजलाशयानां समष्टिः
एकः महान् जलाशयः
एकः महान् जलाशयः
एतद् उपहितं वैश्वानरादि ईश्वरपर्यन्तं चैतन्यम् अपि
एतद् उपहितं वैश्वानर आदिश्वरपर्यन्तं चैतन्यमपि
अवान्तरवन-अवच्छिन्न आकाशवत्
अवान्तरवन अवच्छिन्न आकाशवत्
अवान्तरजलाशयगतप्रतिबिम्ब आकाशवच्च
अवान्तरजलाशयगतप्रतिबिम्ब आकाशवच्च
एकम् एव
एकम् एव
आभ्याम्
आभ्याम्
महाप्रपञ्च तदुपगितचैतन्याभ्याम्
महाप्रपञ्च तद उपहितचैतन्याभ्याम्
तप्त अयः पिण्डवत्
तप्त अयः पिण्डवत्
अविविक्तं सत्
अविविक्तं सत्
अनुपगितं चैतन्यम्
अनुपहितं चैतन्यम्
सर्वं खलु इदं ब्रह्म इति
सर्वं खलु इदं ब्रह्म इति
महावाक्यस्य वाच्यं भवति
महावाक्यस्य वाच्यं भवति
विविक्तं सत्
विविक्तं सत्
लक्ष्यम् अपि भवति
लक्ष्यम् अपि भवति
एवं
एवं
वस्तुनि अवस्तु आरोपः
वस्तुनि अवस्तुवारोपः
अध्यारोपः
अध्यारोपः
सामान्येन प्रदर्शितः
सामान्येन प्रदर्शितः
First I will explain this and then we can see this in detail, word by word. Finally, the author uses the Chandogya Shruti Vakya, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. Thereby, the Avacheda Vada or Pratibimba Vada, finally, he establishes, in keeping with the Shruti, that everything is Brahma. So we will discuss something on Avacheda Vada also. Avacheda Vada, Pratibimba Vada. First, let us see, or let us recollect what we have seen, so that it become easy. There are three types of shariram, trivida sharirani. Karana shariram, number one, or karana upadhi, shariram or upadhi. Sukshma shariram or sukshma upadhi. Sukshma shariram is apanchikritam, uncompound. Then the last shariram is stula sharira utpatti which we saw, which is panchikritam, stula shariram. Otherwise, stula upadhi. So trivida sharirani. These sharirams at the level of samashti and vyashti, with chaitanyam manifesting through the sharirams, through the upadhis. It is called upahita chaitanyam. Upahita chaitanyam manifesting through the upadhi, whether it is jiva upadhi or ishvara upadhi. Upahita chaitanyam. Samashti karana shariram and samashti karana sharira upahita chaitanyam. Chaitanyam corresponding to samashti karana sharira upadhi. This is number one. Samashti Sukshma Upadi, Shariram, and the corresponding Chaitanya. Samashti Sukshma Sharira Upagita Chaitanya. Similarly, Samashti Stula Upadi, Samashti Stula Shariram, this Jagat Prapancha, and the corresponding Chaitanya. Chaitanya manifesting through that. Samashti Stula Sharira Upagita Chaitanya. Since the Sharirams are Upadis are different, therefore Upagita Chaitanyams also are different. Upagita Chaitanyams are also different. Suppose there are three pots, three empty pots. The room space is enclosed by the three pots. Three pots are kept in a room. There is Akasha space in the room, Akasha, Prakoshta Akasha, and there is space inside the pots. The room space is enclosed by the three pots. So let us say, yes is the room space. The alphabet S is a room space. The space enclosed by the first part, P1, let us say P1, is S1. So S1 is the space enclosed by the pot P1. Pot P1 is the Upadi, and S1 is the space enclosed by the pot. S1 is the space which is enclosed. The room space which is enclosed by the pot P1 is S1. Similarly, S2 is a space like the train coach, S1, S2, S3. S2 is a space enclosed by the pot P2. Pot P2 is another Upadi. Similarly, pot 3, another Upadi, and the space enclosed by the pot P3 is S3. So room space being S, and there are three pot spaces corresponding to three pots, three Upadi, three P1, P2, P3. S1, S2, S3 are the pot spaces. Now, this S1 is equal to S. No, S1 is the pot space, the space enclosed by the pot P1. S1 is not equal to S. Neither S2 is equal to S, nor S3 is equal to S. Neither the sum of all the three spaces, S1 plus S2 plus S3 is equal to S. But S1 is S. The space enclosed by the pot P1, that is S1, is the room space, but S is not S1. Room space is not the pot space. The space enclosed by the pot P1, that is S1, is the room space. Is yes, but S is not S1. If you say yes is yes, S1 is a problem. See, pot P1 space, S1 is yes, the room space, but room space is not pot space. If you say room space is pot space, then problem. What problem? The room space cannot even accommodate the pot. If you say room space is S1, the pot space, within the room only the pot is. Therefore, the room space, yes, accommodates the pot space, S1. So S1 is yes, but S is not S1. This equation must be clear. Room space accommodates everything, including the pots and the spaces enclosed by the pots. Therefore, we can say S1 is yes, but S is not S1. S2 is yes, but S is not S2. S3 is yes, but S is not S3. I hope this is clear. Pot space S1 is the room space, but the room space is not the pot space. The pot space S2 is the room space, but room space is not the pot space. The pot space S3 is the room space, but room space is not the pot space. And at the same time, these pot spaces S1, S2, S3 cannot exist apart from the room space. And room space is independent of pot spaces. S1, S2, S3. The same thing is what in Vedanta also, this Satyam Mithya is. We have been talking about that in all the Upanishads and Gita. So, room space is independent of the pot spaces. They are not same. Do they mean they are completely different? No, that is also not correct. Then what is the sambandha? Sambandha between the pot spaces and the room space. The essential nature of the pot spaces and the room space is same. Whether it is pot space or room space, what is its Swarupa, nature? It is same. There is no difference in terms of its nature. The same way, extending this to Upagita Chaitanyam, extending the same to Upagita Chaitanyam, from Drishtanta to Dashtanta, just stretching. Three Upadis are there, like the three different parts. Karana Upadi, Sukshma Upadi, Stula Upadi. But the Chaitanyam enclosed by the Upadi, what about them? Are they same or completely different? Samashti Karana Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam is Ishvaraha, otherwise Antaryami. Samashti Sukshma Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam Hiranyagarbhaha, otherwise called Sutratma, otherwise called Pranaha. Samashti Stula Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam is called Virat, Vaishvanaraha, otherwise Virat or Vaishvanaraha. Now the Ishvara is like the pot space S1. Hiranyagarbha is like the pot space S2. Virat is like the pot space S3. Now, as a pot spaces S1, S2, S3 are different. Similarly, Karana, Sukshma, Stula, Upadi, Upagita Chaitanyam, that is the Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha, and Virat are different. Ishvaraha, Ishvara, that is Samashti, Karana, Upagita Chaitanyam, doesn't include Sukshma Stula Upadi, because Ishvara is the name for the Upagita Chaitanyam with Karana Sharira, Karana Upadi. Therefore, doesn't include Sukshma Stula Upadi. Similarly, Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is Samashti Sukshma Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam, which doesn't include Karana and Stula Upadi. And Virat, Samashti Karana Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam, that doesn't include Karana and Sukshma Upadi, because Virat is the name, it's Upagita Chaitanyam manifesting through the Samashti Stula Sharira. Samashti Stula Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam. I think by mistake I said Sukshma, Karana. Virat is Samashti Stula Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam. That doesn't include Karana and Sukshma Upadi. So Virat is the name given to Samashti Stula Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam. So therefore, Karana Upadi and Sukshma Upadi not included. So therefore, Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha and Virat, distinct Upadis are different, therefore Upagita Chaitanyams are different. That is why we say they are different, Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha and Virat. As a sum total of the pot spaces doesn't constitute the room space. You cannot say S1 plus S2 plus S3 is equal to S, because S is more than the three spaces, part spaces. Similarly, the sum total of the consciousness associated with the three upadhi, karana upadhi, stula upadhi, karana upadhi, sukshma upadhi, stula upadhi, is not equal to the anupagita chaitanyam. Anupagita. Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha, Virata, Upagita chaitanyam. What about the chaitanyam which is unassociated, which is not conditioned, not limited, not pratibhimbita, not reflected in any upadhi? Anupagita chaitanyam. Chaitanyam not conditioned by any upadhi. So therefore, the Anupagita chaitanyam is what is called in the Shastram as Brahma. Anupagita chaitanyam. Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha, Virata, Upagita chaitanyam. They are likened to the pot spaces. And the room spaces, Anupagita chaitanyam, Brahma. So as pot space, S1 is room space. But yes, the room space is not pot space, S1. Similarly, Samashti Karana Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam Ishvara is Brahma. But Brahma is not Ishvara. Similarly, pot space 2. That is space enclosed by the pod P2, which is S2, and that S2 is room space. But S is not S2. Room space is not a pod space. Similarly, here also, Samashti Sukshma Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam. Hiranyagarbha is Brahma, but Brahma is not Hiranyagarbha. We cannot limit Brahma to Hiranyagarbha. We cannot limit Brahma to Ishvara. Similarly, the pot space 3 is room space, but room space is not the pot space S3. So S3 is yes, but S is not S3. So therefore, similarly here also, Samashti Stula Sharira Upagita Chaitanyam Virat. It is Virat. Virat is Brahma, but Brahma is not Virat. Therefore, we cannot say S1 plus S2 plus S3 is equal to S. Ishvara plus Hiranyagarbha plus Virat is equal to Brahma. Cannot say. This is not a mathematical equation. Some people, they do use mathematical equation and they say, but this is not proper. Ishvara is Brahma. Brahma is not Ishvara. Hiranyagarbha is Brahma, but Brahma is not Hiranyagarbha. Virat is Brahma, but Brahma is not Virat. Therefore, Ishvara plus Hiranyagarbha plus Virat is equal to Brahma, you cannot say. Can you confine the room space only to the three pot spaces? Not. Similarly, here also, as the room space is not sum total of the pot spaces, S1, S2, and S3. So to Brahma, it's not the sum total of the Upagita Chaitanyam. Since we have only three Upadhi, therefore the author says here the sum total of all the Upadhis here. Samashti, Karana Upadhi, Samashti, Sukshma Upadhi, and Samashti Stula Upadhi. That is called Maha Upadhi, Maha Prapancha. Samashtihi Etaha Maha Prapanchaha Bhavati. And the Chaitanyam manifesting to the Mahaprapancha, associated with Mahaprapancha. Now, Mahaprapancha is sum total of the all three Upadhi. That is Brahma Chaitanyam. He gives the name Brahma Chaitanyam. Now, in the Pratibimba Vada, the two Drishtantas are used. One is Vana Vriksha Drishtanta, other one is Jala Jalashaya Drishtanta. In the Pratibimba Vada, reflection model, that is simple model that explains well the Mithya part of it. Therefore, that Pratibimba Vada. But it has some limitations. Every model has some limitations, which we have seen already. The Pratibimba Vada, the model, there is, we say, there is a reflection of sun in the water. Sun is there in the Akasha. That is the original sun. Suryaha is there. Now, its reflection is seen in a pool of water. The water is the reflecting medium. And the sun is reflected in the water. reflection of sun in the water is not really the sun, at the same time not different from the sun. Reflection of sun in the water, reflected sun is not the original sun. At the same time, reflected sun is not different from the sun. It cannot exist. Reflection cannot exist from the original. Pratibimba cannot exist without the bimba. There is only apparent difference between the reflected sun and the original sun. The reflection is mithya, therefore it is, because the reflection is there, therefore it points out to original. So therefore, what is there is only Brahma Chaitanyam. This is the reflection model. But doesn't explain completely this model. There's some limitation there. Doesn't take into account the Chaitana Vastu. That Abhasavada does it very well. That Abhasa model, which is attributed to Vidyaranya Muni, and Vidyaranya Muni, he discusses in Panchadashi, which we are going to see this Abhasa, the model, the later chapters. It beautifully presents with the Drishtanta Akasha, same Drishtanta Akasha, Mahakasha, Gata Akasha iti. Now, in the Pratibimba model, as there is only apparent difference, therefore it is negated between the reflected sun and the original sun. Similarly, here also, when we say Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, the Chandogya Shruti Vakya, Sarvam Idam includes all the Upadis, including Upahita Chaitanya. Sarvam Idam, what? Brahma. It means there is no difference between the Upagita Chaitanyam and the Anupagita Chaitanyam. Upadis are Mithya, therefore Upagita Chaitanyam also Mithya, therefore finally what is there is only Brahma Chaitanyam, which is Anupagita Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam appears to be limited by the Upadi. Dismissing the Upadi and the apparent difference between the Upagita Chaitanyam and Anupagita Chaitanyam, that also negated, therefore what is there is only Brahma Chaitanyam, Brahma Eva. Therefore Sarvam Idam is equal to Brahma. Sarvam, Idam, Brahma, 3 words are the chara is required. 3 words. Sarvam, Idam. Why Sarvam? Because 3 upadis are there. Idam, Jagat. Not only this Stula, Prapancha, which Stula implies Sukshman, Karana. Therefore, 3 upadis. And the Chaitanyam associated with the 3 upadis, Uparita Chaitanyam, is equated to Brahma. Therefore, Sarvam, Idam is Brahma. The Brahma is the model. It is the sun, original sun, and Sarvamidam is the Upadhi. It is reflected, and Sarvamidam is Brahma Eva. The apparent difference is dismissed. Sarvamidam, when we say Upadhi and Upahita Chaitanyam, they are Mithya. Therefore, dismissing the Mithya part, what remains is only Brahma Chaitanyam. Therefore, Sarvam Idam Brahma equation. In the same way, the Abhasa Vada also. In the Abhasa Vada, we need to remember that 3 things are involved. A reflection, there is also a reflection model, Abhasa Vada, that involves 3 things. One is Pratibimba, reflection. Other one is reflecting medium, Upadhi, and Bimba, Pratibimba, and the reflecting medium. Now, there is a reflection of Akasha in a pot filled with water. The Drishtanta here is pot filled with water in the Abhasavada. There's a pot, the pot is filled with water, and there is reflection of Akasha in the pot. Pot we take for Vyashti. For Vyashti, we take the pot example. Pot with the water, which reflects the Akasha. And for Samashti, we take the clouds, because clouds is bigger. So therefore, the reflection of Akasha in the clouds. Reflection of Akasha in the clouds. Clouds are nothing but water. Therefore, it is imagined that clouds reflect the Akasha. We need a bigger one, therefore clouds are taken. The Drishtanta. Akasha reflected in a cloud. The cloud, as though it's got a form like the pot which holds water. Similarly, clouds also holds water. So therefore, akasha is the reflection of akasha in a pot filled with water in a cloud. Cloud is nothing but water. Now there are, if you see the Veshti Drishtanta, Veshti example, a Samashti example Drishtanta, this Gata is for the Veshti. The Drishtanta is for Veshti and Akasha for Samashti. Now the Akasha is reflected. There is one Akasha, Mahakasha. It is one space which is not subject to any limitation. Mahakasha, the Mahakasha only is reflected in what? In the Gata, the pot filled with water, that is Gata Akasha. And the this Mahaka reflected in the pot containing water, therefore Jala Akasha. And there is Akasha reflected in the cloud, it's Mega Akasha. So therefore Jala Akasha, that is Mahakasha reflected in the water, in the pot filled with water, Jala Akasha, therefore it's a reflection. Jala Akasha is a reflection. So that is the Drishtanta we use for explaining the Jiva. So Jala Akasha, Mahakasha reflected in the pot filled with water. Jala Akasha it is. Now you see this, it just got three things. One is Mahakasha, reflected Mahakasha, and the pot with water, that is the reflecting medium, that is Upadhi, and the Gata Akasha. Akasha inside the Akasha, which is enclosed by the pot, Gata Akasha. Gata Akasha is there, and the Gata there is Jala, therefore Jala Akasha, and Mahakasha is reflected in the Gata, in the water. So three things are there. Similarly, Mega Akasha, Mahakasha reflected in the clouds. Mahakasha reflected in the clouds. So now, this Mahakasha, which is reflected in the clouds, Mega Akasha. Here also three things are involved. Like in the Jala Akasha. Jala Akasha meaning the Akasha which is reflected in the Jalam inside the pot. Now here in this Mega Akasha, that is reflected Mahakasha, and the clouds are the reflecting medium Upadhi, and the space occupied by the clouds, the space enclosed by the clouds, as a space enclosed by the pot, which is called Gatakasha. Similarly, space enclosed by the clouds, that's called Mega Akasha. So Mahakasha reflected in the Meghakasha, and Mahakasha reflected in the reflecting medium, and the Mega Akasha, that is the space occupied by the clouds. Now, Mahakasha being same, that is reflected in Jalam, in the pot, that is reflected in the Megha, in the clouds. So Mahakasha is reflected, it is what is reflected in Jalakasha, Meghakasha. Though the reflection is different, the reflection is different because the reflecting mediums are different. But it is only that same Mahakasha alone reflected. So therefore, four Akashas, and there are four Chaitanyams also. Now, this is example. For example, we take this Abhasavada of this four Akasha. Now, Akasha is the Drishtanta for Chaitanyam. As four Akashas, Jala Akasha, Gata Akasha, Megha Akasha, Mahakasha. Similarly, in the Dashtanta also, Chaitanyam, the Upagita Chaitanyam, Kutastha Chaitanyam, Jiva Chaitanyam, Ishvara Chaitanyam, Brahma Chaitanyam. Now, what is this Kutastha Chaitanyam? Kutastha Chaitanyam is Brahma Chaitanyam, which is avachinna by the Karana Shariram. Kutastha Chaitanyam is the Brahma Chaitanyam, which is avachinna, conditioned by the Karana Shariram. See, Ghatakasha is not separate from Mahakasha. Similarly, Kutastha Chaitanyam also not separate from Brahma Chaitanyam. So, Kutastha Chaitanyam is Brahma Chaitanyam, which is avachinna by Karana Shariram. Similarly, Jiva Chaitanyam. Jiva Chaitanyam is Chaitanyam, Brahma Chaitanyam, which is reflected in the Karana Sharira. Jala Akasha is there. Jala Akasha. Like Jala Akasha. Akasha, that is the Jala, that is Akasha. Jiva Chaitanyam, the Jala of the pot, the Akasha is reflected. Mahakasha is reflected. That Akasha becomes Jala Akasha. Similarly, Jiva Chaitanyam, like the Jala Akasha, where we talked about three things are involved. One is Mahakasha and the Upadhi and the Jala Akasha. Similarly, here the Dashtanta, Jiva Chaitanyam also, there is reflected Brahma Chaitanyam, right? The reflected Mahakasha, reflected Brahma Chaitanyam. And the Upadhi, Karana Shariram is the Upadhi. Now this Avachinna Chaitanyam, Brahma Avachinna Chaitanyam, but it is called Kutastha Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam, which is Avachinna by the Karana Shariram, which is Kutastha Chaitanyam. That is what is called Jivaha. So Jiva is nothing but reflected Brahma Chaitanyam. That is what we call Chidabhasa. Chit Abhasa. Consciousness which is reflected in the Antakaranam. Antakaranam is the Upadhi. Consciousness reflected in the Antakaranam, Chidabhasa, otherwise called it's reflected consciousness. And that implies Upadhi plus the consciousness which is enclosed by the Antakaranam. Avachinna Chaitanyam, that is Kutastha Chaitanyam. So, therefore, in this model, Jiva is defined as reflected Brahma Chaitanyam plus the Upadhi plus Chaitanyam, which is Avachinna by the Karana Shariram, which is Kutastha Chaitanyam. The name is Kutastha Chaitanyam. So Kutastha Chaitanyam is a name given to the Brahma Chaitanyam, which is Avachinna by the Karana Shariram. This is for the Jiva, which is for the individual. Similarly, Ishvara also. Ishvara is there, the Upadhi is Maya. In the Drishtanta, it is Akasha. Here it is like Meghakasha. Here it is Maya. There we saw three components. Here also three. What are three components in the Drishtanta? Meghakasha meaning Meghakasha, which is reflected in the Megha. Megha is Upadhi. And the Akasha, which is enclosed by the Megha. Three components. Similarly, here also in the Dashtanta, Ishvara Chaitanyam is the reflection, which includes three. One is reflected Brahma Chaitanyam, and Maya is the Upadhi, and Chaitanyam, which is Avachinna by the Maya. The same Brahma Chaitanyam alone, which is reflected in both the Veshti Upadhi and Samashti Upadhi Maya. Because of the difference in the Upadhi, there is difference in the manifestation, reflection. Now, the Mahakasha is comparable to Brahma Chaitanya. Now, the Jiva is defined as reflection of Chaitanyam in the Upadhi, Avidya Upadhi, Karana Upadhi, that is called Chidabhasa, plus the Avidya Upadhi, plus the Kutastha Chaitanyam. This is what Jiva is. So Jiva is equal to Chidabhasa plus Chidabhasa implies Upadhi. Chidabhasa meaning consciousness which is reflected in the Upadhi. What Upadhi? The Avidya Upadhi, Karana Shariram. So therefore, reflected consciousness in the Upadhi plus Kutastha Chaitanyam, which is Avachinna by the Karana Shariram, by the Avidya Upadhi. This is Jivaha. Similarly, Ishvara is equal to reflection of Brahma Chaitanyam, like the Mahakasha, which is reflected in the clouds. Similarly, reflection of Brahma Chaitanyam in the Maya Upadi plus Maya Upadi and Brahma Chaitanyam, which is avachinna by the Chaitanyam, which is avachinna by the cloud, that is called Brahma Chaitanya. Brahma Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam, which is avachinna by the Maya Upadi, is Brahma Chaitanya. Because it's Samashti Upadi, therefore Brahma Chaitanyam, the name. So Brahma Chaitanyam, Chaitanyam, which is Anupita Chaitanyam, we say. Yeah, because Maya Upadi is also, it is Ishvara Upadi, it is also limitless. Therefore, Chaitanyam, Brahma Chaitanyam is limitless Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam, which is condition, which is reflected by the Upadi, that is Brahma Chaitanyam. Because Ishvara is Samashti, therefore we say Ishvara is the reflection of Brahma Chaitanyam in the Maya Upadi, plus Maya Upadi and Brahma Chaitanyam. Now you see, this the Upadi is Mithya. Therefore, Upadi we will negate. For Samashti, when we discuss Samashti, Maya Upadi we dismiss. And when we dismiss Maya Upadi along with Upaita Chaitanyam, that is Ishvara, that also dismissed. So what remains is Brahma Chaitanya. Similarly, in the case of Jiva also, Jiva is Chaitanyam, which is reflected in the Avidya Upadi, that is Chidabhasa, and Avidya Upadi. Avidya Upadi is Mithya, and therefore Chidabhasa also is Mithya. Then what remains is Kutasa Chaitanyam, which is nothing but Brahma Chaitanyam. Kutasa Chaitanyam, which is, now it is Anupita Chaitanyam, Anavachinna Chaitanyam, therefore it is Brahma Chaitanyam. That is how we are going to equate Jiva and Brahma. Not only Jiva and Brahma, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, when we say it includes the entire Jagat, inclusive of Jivas. So Chetana, Achetana, both are included. That is why Abhasa model is taken, explains well for both the Chetana, Achetana Vastu. Sarvam Idam, when we say Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, Sarvam Idam includes not only sentient entities, it also includes insentient entities. Otherwise, that achetana will be hanging separately. You have to include that. Otherwise, where sarvam kalidam, when we say, the sarvam will be not sarvam, it's really. So therefore, in the Abhasa model, is that which the clearly it makes a distinction between the Chetana Vastu and Achetana Vastu, and Achetana Vastu also is included. Why Achetana? Achetana because it doesn't have the manifesting the medium. It doesn't manifest as such because there is reflection. There is that reflection of the reflecting media. The reflecting media, if the reflecting medium is fine, that will be reflection. In the Achetana, since Chaitanyam is all pervading consciousness, and it is reflected in sentient beings. In the insentient being, since the reflecting medium is not as fine as in the case of the sentient beings, therefore there is no reflection. Reflection not that doesn't mean it is achetana. The upadi is, you can say, defective upadi. Therefore, there is no reflection. Upadi anyway is mithya, and the reflection is also it's going to be mithya only. What is that is only Brahma Chaitanyam. Therefore, any achetana vastu is also Brahma eva. So therefore, Abhasa model, it explains very well even the achetana vastu. Sarvam idam, when we say everything is included. The entire prapancha inclusive of both chetana, achetana. So therefore, a river, a mountain, everything is included. Everything is Brahma. So we will not doubt even when we see a mountain, which is just a rock, a stone, which is Brahma. That is why a rock is worshipped. Any rock, any object is worshipable because it is Brahma. Now in the Mahavakya, the Shruti, the Chandogya Shruti, Sarvam Khalu Idam. Sarvam Idam includes all the Upadi, Upagita Chaitanyam and Anupagita Chaitanyam. That is Sarvam, Sarvam Idam, which is Anupagita Chaitanyam is Avidya Avachinna, Avidya Anavachinna, Chaitanyam, Brahma Chaitanyam. Now, Sarvam Idam, when we say Sarvam Idam, it includes Upadis are Mithya, and Upagita Chaitanyam also dismissed. Then what remains in the on one part of the equation, Sarvamidam on the left hand side, Sarvamidam is equal to after dismissing the Upadi, after dismissing the Upayita Chaitanyam also, the Chaitanyam which is reflected in the Vidya or Maya Upadi, then what remains is only Anupayita Chaitanyam, which is Brahma Chaitanyam. So that Brahma Chaitanyam, Sarvam Idam is equal to Brahma Chaitanyam. Sarvam Idam is equal to Brahma. So Sarvam Idam Brahma, the equation Sarvam Idam, on the left hand side Sarvam Idam, on the right hand side Idam, on the right hand side Brahma. So Sarvam Idam is equal to Brahma. Sarvam Idam, doing the Vichara, Sarvam Idam is reduced to Anupita Chaitanyam, which is Brahma Chaitanyam. Therefore Brahma is equal to Brahma. If we say Brahma is equal to Brahma, that is not the equation. The equation has to be, we can say equation when the numbers are different in the both sides, then only there is an equation. 2 is equal to 2, it's not an equation. 1 plus 2 is equal to 4 minus 1, that is an equation. So Sarvamidam is equal to, finally, after doing Vichara, Sarvamidam is reduced to Brahma, therefore Sarvamidam Brahma iti. So that is the teaching here. So therefore, Upadi, Sarvamidam is Upadi plus Upagita Chaitanyam plus Anupagita Chaitanyam. That is what is indicated by Sarvamidam. And that is Brahma. Because Upadi and Upagita Chaitanya are Mithya, therefore it is equated to Brahma. Therefore, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma iti. The author finally quotes from the Shruti, Vakya Chandogya Upanishad. Everything is Brahma. Ahavakya, Sarvamidam. Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat. The Vedas are due to the Upadi. When Upadis are dismissed as Mithya, along with Upaita Chaitanyam also Mithya, then what remains is only Brahma Chaitanyam, Aham Brahma Asmi. That is the Ahavakya. Now, with this background, let us see now this Etesham Stula Sukshma Karana Prapanchanam api Samashtihi Ekaha Mahan Prapanchaha Bhavati. Samashtihi Maha Prapanchaha Bhavati. So, putting together all the three, that is Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, and Karana Shariram. Etesham Stula Sukshma Karana Prapancha. Prapancha, when we say it is Samashti. So, Stula Prapancha, Sukshma Prapancha, Karana Prapancha. We discuss separately now. All the three are put together. The gross, the gross Shariram, the collective gross, collective Sukshma Shariram, collective Karana Shariram. Then that Samashtihi, that becomes Maha Prapanchaha. If you say simply Prapancha, then it is Samashti Stula Sharira. Maha Prapancha means it includes all the Sharirams, all the Samashti Shariram, Stula, Sukshma, Karana. Yata Avantarvananam Samashtihi Ekam Mahadvanam Bhavati. For the three Shariram, we saw the three Drishtanta, Vanam, Samashti Drishtanta, Vanam, forest. Now, three forest 1 plus forest 2 plus forest 3 is equal to Mahadvanam, big forest. Forest 1 corresponding to the Dashtanta, Karana, Samashti Karanam, Shariram. Similarly, forest 2 correspond to Samashti Sukshma Shariram. Similarly, forest 3 is Samashti Sthula Shariram. Therefore, as we add up all the Samashti Sharirams, Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, that becomes Mahaprapancha. Similarly, the Drishtanta, Yata Avantaranam, Yata avantarana means avantara is small. All the forest. That is compared to Mahan Prapancha, compared to Maha Prapancha, this Prapancha, Karana Prapancha, Sukshma Prapancha, Stula Prapancha are small. Similarly, here also Mahadvanam, huge forest, includes sum total of all the three smaller forests. Similarly, sum total of all the three Jalashaya. Three corresponding to the Drashtanta, three Stula Sukshma Karana. Mahajalashaya Bhavati. Sum total of the Avantara Jalashaya is the Samashti. Mahajalashaya it is. Samashteya Samashtihi. Total of the total, grand total it is. So Mahajalashaya Bhavati. Yata Mahajalashaya Magadvanam Tadvat Mahaprapanchaha Bhavati. Now, Mahaprapancha is the Upadhi. Mahaprapancha is the Upadhi, which is the sum total of all the three collective Upadhis. Now, in the Upadhi, as in the case of the Samashti Upadhi at the three levels, Stula, Sukshma, Karana, there is Upagita Chaitanyam. Similarly, Etad Upagitam, Vaishvanaradi Paryantam. Vaishvanaradi Paryantam means from Vaishvanara to Ishvara. Vaishvanaradi Ishvara Paryantam. Starting from Vaishvanara, Vaishvanara is Upaita Chaitanyam corresponding to Stula, Samashti Stula Sharira. Ishvara Paryantam, that is Samashti Karana. So, therefore, Chaitanyam api, the Chaitanyam associated with the three Upadhis, Vaishvanara, Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara, that it is similar to Chaitanyam api avantara vana avachinna akashavat. Vana avachinna akashavat, the space enclosed by the avantara vana, the space enclosed by smaller forest. Avachinna akashavat. Then avantara jalashaya gata pratibimba akashavat. Avantara jala, that reflection in the smaller ponds. Jalashaya. Pratibimba akashavat ekameva. So the conscious, the Chaitanyam associated with Maha Prapancha. Stula Prapancha, we know. Chaitanyam, Upagita Chaitanyam, Stula Prapancha, Vaishvanara, Stula Prapancha, it is Hiranyagarbha, and Karana Prapancha, it is Ishvaraha iti. Now, as Virat, Hiranyagarbha, and Ishvara. Virat, Hiranyagarbha, Ishvara, they are the Upagita Chaitanyam corresponding to the Upadhi. And Yata, the space enclosed by the smaller forest and the space enclosed by the Mahadvanam. What is the difference? No difference. Space enclosed by Avantaravanam and the space enclosed by the Mahadvanam, there is no difference. Yata, the reflection is the Jalashaya, Avantara Jalashaya Pratibimba, and the Mahad Jalashaya Pratibimba. What is the difference? The reflection in the smaller ponds, and the reflection in the Mahad, the Mahad Jalashaya. There is no difference. In terms of reflection, it means this space is same. The same space which is conditioned by the smaller forest is the space which is between the space. There is no difference. So when we say this, that's why I said it is not same, at the same time not different. It means the essential nature, the Swarupa, the space enclosed by the individual forest, and the space enclosed by the total forest, Mahavana. In terms of its Swarupa, there is no difference. Veda asti va? Yes, Veda is. At the same time, there is Abeda. Veda, because physically not same, but in terms of nature, it is same. In the Gata example, I gave room space and the Gata Akasha. S1 is yes, but S is not S1. Same thing. Here, here also three forests. We can take the space enclosed by the three forests. S1, S2, S3. And there is a space enclosed by the Magadvanam. Yes. Now, are they same? Are they different? Is S1 is equal to yes? S2 is equal to yes? S3 is equal to yes? We cannot say yes. At the same time, not different. In terms of nature, it is same. Similarly, Jalashaya also, in terms of reflection, S1, S2, S3 are the, or R1, R2, R3 are the reflection in the three ponds, lake. Now there is huge lake. The reflection is R. R1 is R, but R is not R1. Same thing here also. Therefore, here, in terms of in terms of the in terms of its Swarupa, there is no difference. But in terms of the size, the magnitude, because it is Upadhi, there is difference. Therefore, we are not saying same in terms of Upadhi. Upadhi is Mithya. But in terms of its Swarupa, it is same. Similarly, Chaitanyam, this Upagita Chaitanyam, Vaishvanara, Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara, the three, the Chaitanyam, Upagita Chaitanyam, and with the Brahma Chaitanyam, are they same or different? They are same, at the same time, not same. It means Vaishvanara is Brahma, but Brahma is not Vaishvanara, as we have seen before. So therefore, as in the Drishtanta, similarly in the Dashtanta, therefore the Chaitanyam associated with Mahaprapancha, which is Brahma Chaitanyam, between the Brahma Chaitanyam and this Vaishvanara, the Ishvara Paryantam, the Chaitanyam, there is Ekameva. Ekameva is, there is Abedaha. Abedaha in terms of its nature. Chaitanyam being Chaitanyam, as space is space, whether it is enclosed by pod or conditioned by the room, space is space. Similarly, Chaitanyam is same. There is Abedaha. Abedaha is in terms of Swarupa, there is Abedaha. That is what Aikyam is. Aikyam is not physical Aikyam. Upadhi, with Upadhi, there is no Aikyam. There is no oneness. In fact, Upadhis are different. Upadhis are different, therefore only Vyavahara. If Upadhis are also become Aikyam, then it's a problem. The entire Vyavahara will reduce to one big lump. So that is not possible. In terms of the essential nature of the thing, the Chaitanyam, it is same. There is no Veda. It's called Tadhatmyam. It is Ekameva, same. Same means we have to understand it is this, why this Ekam, this is explained because Ekam means one, so it is completely, and with Upadhi it is taken to be non-different. It is not. Upadhi has to be. When we say Jiva is Brahma, Jiva is Brahma is the Chaitanyam, Jiva Chaitanyam is Brahma Chaitanyam. Jiva with Upadhi, the Jiva who enjoys his Upadhi. Upadhi is not Brahma. Upadhi is Brahma, but Brahma is not Upadhi. Again, with Upadhi we are not equating. That's why we do the Vichara, Mahavakya, Bhagatyaga Lakshanaya. Bhagatyaga Lakshana we do. By Bhagatyaga Lakshana, what we do is, this Aham Brahma, when we say, what is Aham referring to? Does it refer to Upadhi? Or does it refer to Upagita Chaitanya? Or what is it? The nature of Agam is analyzed and it is concluded to be Brahma. And that Aham Brahma, therefore equation. So therefore, Ekam means it is not completely identical, at the same time not different. It's a Tadatma Sambandha. That is Abedaha in terms of its Swarupa, the nature. Chaitanyam being Chaitanyam, it is, therefore, whether it is conditioned by the individual Upadhi or Samashti Upadhi. Chaitanyam is Chaitanyam. Yatha water is H2O, whether it is lake water or ocean water. H2O is H2O. Both are H2O. But both are H2O. In terms of H2O, it is same. But in terms of its magnitude, they are not same. Ocean water and the pond water and the water in a bucket and the water drop, they are, in terms of magnitude, in terms of upadhi, they are different. But in terms of its swarupa, same. That swarupataha, swarupa drishtya abhedaha is pointed out here. Ekam eva. In fact, that is what is been talked about all the way. That is in the at the level of Karana Sharira as well as Sukshma and Sulab. That is what we have been talking about. Tadatmya Sambandha eva asti. Therefore, Abhyam is this Mahaprapancha and the and Upagita Chaitanya Abhyam. Here the author gives an example. Tapta yaf pindavat. Etta, this taptaha, the red burnt, ayaha, that iron ball which is made hot, the iron ball which is made hot, pinda, tapta yaf pindavat. Now, in the red hot iron ball, there are two things involved. One is iron, one is iron ball, other one is the fire. Now, fire is round in shape. Fire doesn't have shape because of the upadhi. Upadhi is iron ball. Upadhi doesn't have agni. Upadhi doesn't have intrinsic agni. Agni is not the swarupa of iron ball. When it is kept at room temperature, it becomes gold. It takes the room temperature. Because it is subject to heating, therefore it is hot now. So the Agni and the iron ball both are mixed up. Similarly, there's a mix-up. Mahaprapancha tadupagita chaitanya abhyam. This prapancha and the chaitanya, they are mixed up. Tapta yaf pindavat yatha iron and the iron ball and the Agni is mixed up. And we say red hot iron ball. As though iron ball has got fire. As fire has got shape, round shape. That's a mixture. Therefore there is a adhyasa. We superimpose Agni on the iron ball, and we superimpose a shape to the Agni. Shape plus Agni, we superimpose a shape. This is what adhyaropa. This is example for adhyaropa. Tapta yaf pindavat aviviktam sat anupita chaitanyam. Viviktam, aviviktam. When it is not discriminated, when Anupati Chaitanyam is not discriminated, when Taptaya Pindavat, Aviviktam Sat, Viviktam, Aviviktam. Viviktam is when it is distinctly understood, discriminated. Aviviktam, not discriminated. So, therefore, Aviviktam Sat, Viviktam Sat. So, Aviviktam means which is when not discriminated. When the Anupayita Chaitanyam, which is now it is like Taptaya Pindavat, it is mixed with Mahaprapancha. Therefore, Mahaprapancha with Upagita Chaitanyam being Chaitanyam, which is Anupayitam because of its association, the association within quote, which because Chaitanyam manifesting in the reflecting media, Mahaprapancha, therefore Tapta of Pindavat, there is a mixture, there is a combination, there is a Ekavat, Eki Bhavaha, as though one. Tapta of Pindavat, this Anupita Chaitanyam, mixing with Mahaprapancha, Sarvam Kalidam Brahma iti, Mahavakyasya Vachyam Bhavati, Viviktam Sata Lakshyam Bhavati. When it is mixed up, then it becomes a Vachyartha of the Vakya, Sarvam Kalidam Brahma. When it is distinctly understood, when you do the Vichara, what Vichara? Mahavakya Vichara, Bhagatyaga Lakshana. We have to analyze the words of the Vakya. Viviktam Sata Lakshyam Bhavati. What is Laksham? Sarvam Kalu, Sarvam Idam Brahma. Sarvam Idam, that is one side of the equation which is equated to Brahma. So therefore, we have to do Sarvam Idam. How can sarvavidam be Brahma? Unless you do vichara. Vachyartha, if you take, Vachyartha is Vachyartha and Lakshyartha. Vachyartha is literally taking the literal meaning of the sentence. That is Vachyartha. That is Chaitanyam, which is Anupagitam. Now it is mixed with the Mahaprapancha. That is Vachyartha. That is this Anupita Chaitanyam with the Mahaprapancha. Therefore, the Chaitanyam reflected in the Mahaprapancha, that is becomes Upagita Chaitanyam. So Sarvam Idam, when we say, it has got three things now. Sarvam Idam. That is Brahma Chaitanyam, which is Anupita Chaitanyam, plus the Mahaprapancha and the Chaitanyam reflected in the Mahaprapancha. Chaitanyam which is enclosed by the Mahaprapancha. Upagita Chaitanyam. That is the Vachyartha. That is the Vachyartha. But when we do the Vichara and dismiss the Mithya part of it, the Mithya is, Upadhi is Mithya. Therefore, Mithya Upagita Chaitanyam also goes away along with the Mithya Prapancha. So what remains is only Brahma Chaitanyam. Therefore, Sarvam Idam, Kalu Idam, Brahma. That is the Lakshyartha of the Vakya. Lakshyartha of the Mahavakya. So by Bhagatyaga Lakshana, Viviktam Sat Lakshyam Uchyate. Aviviktam Sat Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahma. Viviktam Sat. Aviviktam Sat Anupagita Chaitanyam Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahma. Viviktam Sat Lakshyam Bhavati. So Anupagita Chaitanyam, when it is aviviktam, when it is not discriminated like the taptaya pindavata, there are two things mixed up. Similarly, there is a mixing of satya and mithya. So there is a mixing up of satyam and mithya. Satyam and mithya because they are satyam and mithya. Mithya is mixed with satyam. Therefore, it seems to be different in the vakya and the sentence. Therefore, sarvam idam. As though Sarvam Idam is distinct from Brahma. Sarvam Idam is Upadhi. The Satyam and Mithya are mixed up. Therefore, Sarvam Idam, this Jagat, as the Jagat is Mithya, as though it enjoys a separate existence. Sarvam Idam we say, but that is Vachyartha. But when you do analysis, then the Sarvam Idam reduces to Brahma Eva. Therefore, Aviviktam Sat, like the Taptaya of Pindaha, when it is aviviktam, when it is not discriminated, that becomes the Vachyartha. When it is discriminated, that becomes a Lakshyartha. Lakshyartha is the implied meaning. The implied meaning is arrived at by Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Bhagatyaga Lakshana is two things when they are equated. Because there is mixture of Satyam and Mithya, the Mithya part has to be disregarded. Because it is not real. Mithya part has to be disregarded. Then there is only there is equation. Otherwise, there is no equation. Then only there is equation. Like here, the iron ball and the fire, both are mixed up. Therefore, red hot iron ball. So, but Viviktam Sat, you know that it is the fire is not round or the ball is not really hot. What is the ball is as the ball has gained the heat from the Agni. It is borrowed Ushnam. It is not the Swarupa of the iron ball. Similarly, the fire doesn't have round shape. It has borrowed its Upadhi from the iron ball. Since there is a transfer, mutual transfer. Similarly, here also Sarvam Idam Brahma is, there is a mix-up. As there is a mix-up in red hot iron ball, similarly here also there is a mix-up. Satyam and Mithya Amsha are mixed up. And therefore, to understand the truth, when it is Viviktam, discriminated, what remains finally is Brahma Eva. When discriminated, that is the Lakshyartha. When undiscriminated, Aviviktam Sat, that becomes the Vachyartha. Do we take Vachyartha, Lakshyartha? Vachyartha Drishtya, If you take Vachyartha, there is Vedaha. Vachyartha is Upadi plus Upayita Chaitanyam plus Anupayita Chaitanyam. Vachyartha. And Lakshyartha is Upadi and Anupayita Chaitanyam or Upayita Chaitanyam are dismissed. Therefore, what is there? It's only Anupayita Chaitanyam, the Chaitanyam which can never be conditioned, seems to be conditioned. That is the Lakshyartha. Therefore, Evam Vastuni Avastuni Aropaha Adhyaropaha Samanyena Pradarshitaha. Thus, the author has shown here Vastuni Avastu Aropaha, superimposing Vastuni and the Vastu. And the Vastu Avastu Aropanam. Vastu is the Avastu Aropanam. The rope is there. On the rope, you project the snake. You project projection of snake on the rope. So, which is real? Vastu, the rope is real. Snake is not real. So, that is superimposed. Aropaha, Adhyaropaha, Samanyena, Pradarshitaha. The author has shown the Adhyaropa. We are discussing Adhyaropa. Apavada not yet. This Bhagatyaga Lakshana and all will come later. Adhyaropa accounts for the perception of this Jagat. The Brahma which is appearing as Jagat because of Adhyaropa. Now Apavada had to be done. When we do Apavada, then we understand this in spite of the mix-up. As you understand Taptaya Pindaha very clearly, the Agni and the Ayapindaha, distinctly you understand. Similarly, when you do Apavada, you will see this Jagat is like Taptaya Pindavati, it's a mixture, therefore minusing, reducing, dismissing Nitya. You will see this Jagat as Sarvamidam, this Jagat as Brahma. That is the Apavada. So with this, the topic of Adhyaropa is completed. Adhyaropa is completed. The next topic is going to be the Jiva and the Adhyaropa. Apavada will come later. So let us see this in the next class, 122. From that, we will read the next class. In some book, in fact, a distinction is given. This forms the next section. Next section. The next section is Jiva and the Adhyaropa. Okay, we'll stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी. धन्यवाद शरण जी.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
Dhanyavadaha.